y'all, welcome to a brand new episode of Confessions with Lo. Before we get into it, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below. So we're gonna get into this first one. It's a very long one because it's titled He Really Is Sickest Part 1, 2, and 3. So should I read all 3 parts and that be the 3 videos? Or should I still do 3 confessions? Because I mean, technically this is still one confession, it's just multiple parts. I don't know. We're gonna see how long this really is and how I'm feeling after reading all of it. Okay, let's get into it. So she said, "Hey girl, I truly love your channel and I'm here for all of it. Thank you. Warning, a lot of confusing and complicated situations are about to occur. / violence, cheating, lying, and BS. Buckle up and get ready for the ride of a 7.5-year situationship." You was in a situationship for 7.5 years? Okay. Let's get into it. So she said the first meeting. So let's jump on into it. I met this guy when I was 16 turning 17. He's what you would call a hustler / D-boy / bum. She put bum in all caps. She said if you know, you know. We will call him Shada. Me and Shada met over the summer in 2016. So one day, his 2 homeboys plus him came over to my friend's house. At first, I wasn't paying this man no never mind until he politely walked up to me, not politely, and asked, "Is your hair real?" Side note, that shit was so rude. Right, what are you talking? Is yours real? What are you talking about? While pulling on my ponytail, I turn around and see the finest man I ever laid my eyes on. He had the biggest Kool-Aid smile on his face. I reply back with, "What if it's not?" Okay, so you let it slide because he was fine. I get it, but like, we gonna have to talk about that later because don't you walk up to me doing no shit like that. What are you talking about? His reply is, "You still cute." Well, why did I think I found my future husband? His 2 homeboys is throwing big cups of slushies at my friends. What? Now please explain to me, why is there always one dude in the group that's super extra? What you mean throwing big cups of slushies at your friends? Throwing slushies on your friend? Just why did he have to ruin my moment? Well, my friend definitely wasn't feeling old boy, so she goes in the house to grab something to hit him with. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Well, I'm assuming they knew this and they start heading to their car. Once they make it to the car, Shada looks at my friend and says, "He only does that because he knows how you gonna react." The next encounter. Well, Shada went to jail for 6 months, and this is when I had my first encounter with his girlfriend, soon to be baby mama. I call his phone one day, but a girl answers his phone. I'm so shook, but I wasn't going to hang up, so I said, "Can I talk to Shada?" Hello? Who is this? Oh, this Shada girlfriend. Well, can you hand him the phone real quick? I have something to say. She said she literally hung up in my face. I would have hung up on your ass too. What are you talking about? Can I talk to Shada? Well, I thought that was the last time I would call his phone. However, it wasn't. When Shada was released, he inboxed me and asked me, "Why are you being a stranger?" So my reply is, "Don't you have a girlfriend? Stop the games. My heart can't take this." He replies, "All I'm trying to do is show you what a real nigga can do for you." So he just skipped past the question, do you or do you not have a girlfriend? Yes or no? Well, my young and naive 16-year-old brain could not compute the wrong in this situation. However, this was one of many red flags that I ignored. A few hours later, I'm in this man's bed losing my virginity. Okay, my bad, y'all. Okay, so she said the next morning when I wake up, I go to school and I couldn't even contain the excitement I felt. Although my legs were not working correctly, I was overly ecstatic to have an older boyfriend who at the time checked all my 16-year-old boxes. By the way, we weren't even in a relationship. I was going to say, no, you said y'all was in a situationship. This ain't your boyfriend. The same thing happened for over 6 months until one day this man decided to become violent. He shot me with a BB gun, whipped me with the belt. Ooh, I need to put a trigger warning. I'm so sorry. Whipped me with the belt, choked me, and a variety of different abusive things. Oh my gosh, at 16, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Why is my camera doing that? I never realized the danger I had gotten myself into. My breaking point came when I asked him to be my Valentine. He tells me he doesn't celebrate pagan holidays. Like, boy, what? Well, I just couldn't fathom that, so I cut him off. However, months go by and I turned 17. I found out from one of his homeboys that he had a baby on the way. So again, I decided I wasn't really ready to let this man go, so I said to myself, I'm going to piss him off the way hearing he got somebody pregnant pissed me off. I go get pregnant. Wait. No, wait a minute. That's not how we supposed to deal with. She said, don't ask me why, because to this day I still don't know why I did that. Halfway through my pregnancy, he sees me and asks if it was his baby. Sis, when I tell you I was in a state of confusion, how on God's green earth could he be the daddy? I quickly tell him, no sir, I got me an old head that knows how to treat me. Over the course of my pregnancy and after, he just couldn't let well enough be alone. He would call in the middle of the night while I was at work, even when I blocked his number and social media accounts. Asking for a DNA test at this point, the shit was aggravating. I'm over here in La La Land trying to build a family, while Shada is in a fairy tale world really thinking that I was baby mama number 2. So I'm gonna keep reading, but like, can we touch on like where did the old head come from? So like, you just was like, get me pregnant, and then it, like, I'm confused. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Well, he had his daughter in February and I gave birth to my son in March. We lost contact for about 2 years, and one day he inboxes me on Facebook from his homeboy's page telling me to call him. I do, because why not? Maybe his daughter made him grow up. It didn't. Well, we technically decided to pick up where we left off, constantly seeing each other, taking our kids on play dates, acting like a real couple. Come to find out, this man lives in the same house with his baby mama, no job, no goals, no aspirations in life, just an aspiring D-boy. Well, I was so grown to be playing games with him. I was grown to be playing, I don't know what you're trying to say. So I distanced myself again. Until one night, I'm going through my baby daddy's phone only to find out that he's cheating on me with multiple females, sending money, paying bills, and possibly had another baby on the way. In the midst of mending my broken heart, I decided to hit up Shada. We go through the same shit, except for this time his baby mama hits me up. She asks me, who am I? I replied back with his friend. She said, friends don't tell each other they love each other and they enjoyed last night. I mean, friends could say they love each other, but you enjoyed last night. At this point, I didn't really know what I wanted from Shada, but what I didn't want was a grown-ass man living up underneath me. I just wanted to dick. So we continued spending time with each other until I decided I wasn't going to be no homewrecker, so I cut him off again. Fast forward to 2020, he hits me up in August and tells me him and his baby mama are finally done. He asks if we could finally become a serious couple and raise our kids the right way. I agree and moved from South Dakota to Branson. What's MO? What state is that? Hold on, that's gonna bother me. And I don't care if you talk about me in the comments. I don't know what state this is. Do this shit say Missouri? I'm not even going to tell y'all what I thought that was going to say. Okay, so she moved from South Dakota to Missouri. I started really falling in love with this person he had become, until he let his true colors show. He started asking for money, being really insecure and abusive again, to the point he shared my location with himself while I was in the shower. About a week before, I get another call from his baby mama saying that she burned up his shit and was gonna beat me up when she sees me, since her baby daddy and myself thought we could play her. She also knew my exact location. Again, I am in complete confusion because how was I supposed to know they were still together when we currently live together? I waited till he came home and confronted him. My first question to him was, how does your baby mama know my location? He replies he fell asleep at her house. At that point, I knew I had fucked up. How you fall asleep at her house and you live here? Girl, this man must have thought he was the GOAT. Not the GOAT. I decided right then and there I was moving out because what I'm not gonna do is continue playing kid games with a grown-ass man. But like, in my opinion, sis, you knew, like, all the signs were there. Like, you knew he was like this at this point. You just kept going back. But that's okay. About 2 days, well, it's not okay, but I can't fault you because I've, you know, like, when you in it, you don't, hindsight is always 20/20, you know. Okay, about 2 days go by before he's blowing up my phone asking me where I'm at and why I moved out. I wasn't even going to entertain him with the answer, so I go and I change my number. I deactivated all my social medias and moved to a whole new state. Do you know this man waited about 2 weeks before he shows up at my doorstep telling me why I was playing with him, asking me why I was playing with him? Like, nigga, what? I moved halfway across the United States. How did you find me? That's kind of creepy. But also, so if you changed your number, you still had the same phone though, right? You just changed your number. So unless you stop sharing your location with him, then that's probably like how he found you. That, if I'm thinking about that correctly. But I don't know. Hold on, I lost my place. At this point, I don't know what the hell to do. So the next morning, I decided to go to the courthouse and file a restraining order after I put all of his shit on the curb. He came back that night and broke my back window before calmly carrying all his shit back in my house. At this, wait, the new house? So wait, you moved and changed your number and did all that. You moved out, moved to a whole new state, but you still had his stuff in your house? Okay, at this point, I'm confused because where are you going? What are you doing? I showed him the restraining order and he literally rolled a blunt and took the paper, read it, and burnt it. What the fuck? In my head, all I can think is, I don't think you were supposed to burn that. That night, he held you up in a corner. Oh, held me up in a corner and seduced me. The whole situation really had me tight because although the D was excellent, I was done with him and all his baggage. So that night after he fell asleep, I came up with another plan to relocate because I just couldn't keep putting myself or my son through this drama. I done forgot about the baby. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to put Shada in my rearview mirror. However, since I had just moved, I really didn't have the money to move again, so I called my baby daddy and asked him if he could help me. He agrees, and on December 24th, 2020, I move again. Shada did not get the hint. He started calling my mama, my daddy, my grandma, my cousin, and my brothers looking for me. I thought I finally got away. However, that's not how our story was meant to end. So he has his baby mama come knock on my door to fight me. Wait a minute. So he found out where you lived again? Okay, at this point, this is not, like, this is psycho deranged behavior. Like, you have a stalker. So she said, we fight 3 times before she decided she needs reinforcements. She leaves and comes back with 6 girls. I wasn't opening the door to get jumped, so I hop on the phone and call every girl in my phone to pull up. Well, this turned into a big-ass brawl. The cops got called, and luckily I had a Ring camera to show the cops that this girl and her friends showed up to my house uninvited, telling me to come outside. I didn't go to jail, but I got a disturbing the peace ticket. I was so petty, I sent Shada a Cash App request for the cost of the ticket, and he was childish enough to send it. Lastly, in May of 2022, he sent me a message on Instagram. I will include below. You can read it out loud if you want. I will also include pictures of everybody so you can see. Moral of the story, leave these hood niggas alone. Okay, let me scroll down to to the thing. So he said he messaged her on May 12th at 2:07 a.m. He said, on my way home from work today, I seen this girl that looked so much like you, man. It was kind of weird. Of course, I lit up and it took me back. I wanted to follow her and get her number, laughing but serious. But anyways, not trying to ruin anything or start nothing, just had to tell you, stay blessed. And then he messaged her again in July, sent her a Facebook reel, and then said, oh wait, hold on, I might be, because that was just part one. What I just read y'all, that was just part one. Okay, okay, part two. She said, should I, because I don't want to I don't want to confuse y'all and have to keep coming back. This might be the only confession that we reading today, y'all. I don't know. Okay, part two. So you don't have to tell me. I already know that this was a mistake. I definitely should have followed my own advice. Anyway, I gave Shada another chance in August. I hit him up for closure. I explained to him that every time I decided to come back, it never had anything to do with him. I always found my way back in dark times of my life. To add more fucking chaos, confusion, and darkness. I know he will do me wrong, so I go back to be treated this way. It's oh, that's sad. It's almost like a reality check. Anyway, when I reached out to him, he said that he thought I was over it. However, since I never truly understood our miscommunication in the first place, I never could truly move on. He calls me and we talk on the phone that day about the reasons why I decided to try our relationship over and over. Had a lot to do with me having low self-esteem and wanting someone who treated me like shit so I could feel the same way on the outside as I did on the inside. Or it was revenge to get back on my baby daddy for cheating. Either way, it never had anything to do with actually wanting to be with him. He says that he feels like the reason it never worked out was because I always played games, and I agreed. How was you the one playing games? We talked for 56 minutes that day before we both agreed that we could be friends and could check on each other every 3 to 4 months to keep some type of communication. Well, instead of us both agreeing to the situation and sticking to it, he DMs me the next day and says he didn't get everything off his chest, so could I call him so he could speak in peace, so he could speak his piece. Well, I agreed to the biggest mistake of my life. Closure turned into talking every day for 3 months. I'm going to skip around a little bit because it makes more sense this way. So let's talk about the trip I took exclusively to see him. I drove 6.5 hours to where he lives and rented a big ass Airbnb. She ain't said big ass Airbnb. I just lied. To rent Airbnb. She put Airbnb in all caps. I don't know why I just read that as big ass Airbnb. For 4 days. The first day I spent a lot of time pampering myself, you know, hair, nails, wax, the spa, the works, because I wanted to look good for my man. Here you go with this my man thing again. He's not your man. I even went to the grocery store to pick up dinner so I could show this man I knew how to cook. I got back to the Airbnb and this man already had his shoes kicked off and his game hooked up to the TV. I asked him to put away the groceries while I shower, so when I get out, I can start on dinner. Do you know this man did not move an inch? Y'all, I feel like I heard this story before. I get out the shower and started dinner. He actually ended up cooking a meal together. We actually ended up cooking a meal together and enjoying each other. The night ended with sex and pillow talk. The next morning, he got up at 6:30 in the morning because his baby mama pinged his location and was around the corner. At this point, I'm hot because what the fuck type of time is this man on? I came all the way down here to spend time with him and your baby mama is searching for you? Well, I was pissed and decided that this shit was just another fling, and when I got back home, he would be blocked out of my life. If I would have listened to myself, I could have saved myself a lot of time and headaches. Well, after he left, I kept myself entertained with homework and spending time with my family. Halfway through the day, he asked me if we were spending the night together again, and I said, sure, why not? He said, well, can I borrow your car? For anybody saying you better not, I did, and I regretted it. See, sis, this man is just a walking red flag. He takes my car and is gone all night. He finally brings back the car at 3:30 in the morning. By the way, he was fucking drunk when he brought it back. I'm so mad. I just tell him to give me my keys and fucking leave because I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna do this ignorant ass shit with him. do you know this man took off his clothes and got in the bed like I never even opened up my mouth? See, and it's just like, he knows that you're not really gonna leave. He knows you're gonna keep messing with him, so it's like he comfortable acting the way that he's acting, you know. So I just stand there because why are you getting comfortable? And I just said leave. He looks up at me. He looks up and says, "You're gonna lay down. Are you gonna lay down?" I tell him, yeah, after I lock the door. He rolls his eyes, gets up, and pushes me onto the bed. I tell him I'm not really in the mood to play childish ass games and he needs to go. Do you know this man says what you need and pulls my panties to the side? Oh, he says, I know what you need, and pulls my panties to the side. Well, long story short, he didn't leave, and I felt more stupid than I did the night before, because the next morning he got up around 11 and left again. Let me pause right here, because it's like you keep giving him access to you. You're not gonna leave. Like, you're not making, like, you're not being assertive. Like, you're not being firm in what you're saying. Like, you say some shit, stand on that shit. Like, I said, get the fuck out, and that's what I mean, get the fuck out. Like, you can't just say that shit, because he already know, like, you don't mean this. Like, get your ass in the bed and we finna end up hunching. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I don't have to tell you that, but I'm just saying, like, yeah. Okay, hold on, I lost my place. I'm thinking we're gonna spend a day together, and he never had any intentions of doing that shit. I get dressed and head out the door because one monkey don't stop no show. I get to my car and I notice glass on the hood of my car. I go around to the front and someone hit it. At this point, it has to be the baby mama, because how? Anyway, I decided it's time for me to go home. I have reached my point of it ain't even worth it. I take my car to the dealership to get it fixed and catch the next flight back home. Wait. So was it a rental car or was this your car? Because what you mean you just took it to the dealership and then catch the next flight back home? But I thought you drove down there 6.5 hours. I'm confused. Okay. Once I get home, shit goes from bad to downright horrible. Skipping forward a little bit, me and Shada go back to talking as if he didn't show me his true colors, and shit is sweet. So my car is done being fixed, and I decided I was just gonna go and pick it up and come right back home. Oh, okay, so you left it there. Okay, that makes sense. But Shada asked if I could spend the night. I really didn't want to, but I figured, what harm could it do? You know what harm it could do. You know. It's just one night. So I prepared to drive down there and had my homegirl riding with me. Well, at the last minute, she decided she didn't want to be around Shada. I don't blame her. So I asked my baby daddy to ride down there with me so he could return the rental. The whole drive, Shada is blowing up my phone, but I'm not answering because I know it's going to be a problem. I get into town, pick up my car, go see family, and then attempt to go see him. I call him, and the first words out of his mouth is, I'm a setup artist. Boy, how? I should have just took that cue and got back on the highway, but I decided it would be okay once we talked in person. I pulled up to where he's at, and he tells me he should fuck me up and bust my window out for playing with him. He also said he would, but all I was going to do was call my baby daddy, and he was right. That was my second cue to hit the road and go back home. However, since it was late, I just went back to my hotel to shower and go to bed. As I'm getting in bed, I hear loud banging coming from my door. I'm confused because I know nobody knew where I was at. I opened the door to see Shada standing there. I was flabbergasted. This man has a stalking problem. Like, what? Are you following me? Like, did he have an air tag on your shit or something? Like, what is going on? He walked in talking about, you thought you was about to have another nigga come through? Think again. Time to cancel your plans. This is disgusting. I just roll my eyes because, I'm about to go to sleep. I'm about to go to sleep so I can get the fuck out of this hellhole early in the morning. I walk over to the bed and proceeded to lay down and go to bed before I feel a stinging hot pain on my cheek. I sit up and look, and this man staring back at me with the most vicious scowl on his face. Immediately after I shook that shit off. Wait. Oh, you felt a stinking hot pain on your cheek because he was staring at you? I thought he did something. Immediately after I shook that shit off, I hopped up and told the nigga he had to go because he was completely out of line. Wait, did I read that wrong? I feel a stinging hot pain on my cheek. I sit up and look at this man staring back at me with the most vicious scowl on his face. Immediately after I shook that shit off, I hopped up and told the nigga he had to go because he was completely out of line. He charges towards me and wrapped his hand around my throat. He got really close to my ear and grabbed my vagina. He asked me who the fuck I thought he was to be giving away something that will always belong to him until they lay me in the dirt. I started trembling and asked him to go because he was scaring me. His response was to rip my nightgown in two before pushing me over the chair, and I'm pretty sure you know the rest. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. After he got done, he laid down in the bed and told me to hurry up and get in the bed before he came back again to show me who the fuck I belonged to. I waited until he drifted off and left, got on the highway, and headed home to begin the process of my healing journey because the shit that he put me through couldn't be love. The end for good. The next day, I didn't hear from him, which gave me a small sense of relief. However, the devil can never lie dormant for too long. The next day, he called me and cussed me out. I kept hanging up in his face because I didn't want to deal with it, so he decided an argument through text would suffice. Sis, you should have blocked him. After that, I was at my breaking point and just changed my number. The moral of this story is to never go back looking in the trash. Once they've been thrown away, leave them there. I will send an email with screenshots. Thank you for sharing my story. Okay, she put part 3. I'm going to hurry up and read this. Yeah, this going to have to be the only confession today, y'all. I'm so sorry. Okay, part 3. She said, hey sis, I just want to congratulate you on your continued success. So this is part 3 of the story, so let's get into it. So in my last story, Shada and I finally fell out, or so I thought. Anyway, I had plans to move to the same city as him just so I could be close to him / gain trust. Well, when we fell out, I didn't feel comfortable being that close to him, so I decided to move to a whole different state. Sis, I hate that you feel like you have to keep running and like starting over, moving. You done moved like multiple times. It's not okay. Well, I had a homegirl. We just gonna call her homegirl. As I'm packing up my place at the time, homegirl offered to help me pack up my stuff. However, when she got there, she sat back watching the movers take the stuff out. Now, mind you, I don't have a problem with her sitting back and just kicking it with me, but she offered to help me. So at that time, I played it off. In my mind, I just stored it in my files. It'll make sense in the end. Anyway, she stayed in my house for maybe 2 hours. I take her home and come back and hit the road. So now I have moved and have been in my new city for a month, and Thanksgiving is coming up. Homegirl has been checking on me. Mind you, I'm telling this girl all of my business. So homegirl calls me and asks me what my plans were for Thanksgiving. I tell her I'm going back to my hometown to chill with my family. She asked me was I going to see Shada while I was down there. Oh, excuse me. I laughed and said no. Remember, I'm a slut from the mountains of Slutachia. Mind you, this girl know everything that was said during the fallout of me and Shada. So my question is, why would she even encourage trying to rekindle a friendship between us? Right. But it will all make sense in the end. So Thanksgiving passed and I go back to my regular scheduled program. Skip to homegirl's birthday. We are now 2 weeks before Christmas and homegirl has slowed down talking to me. I don't think anything of it because we are getting close to Christmas. So I call her and tell her happy birthday. Why did this girl answer the phone and ask me why I've been acting different? Like, huh? She automatically changes the subject and asks me how work was going. I had to stop myself because, girl, what? So we get to talking and I tell her happy birthday. I also check in with her on the details for our girls trip coming up in February. She tells me she has added 2 more people to our Airbnb and itinerary. I don't think anything of it because I'm assuming 2 more females. I'm going to come back to this part later. So anyways, We get off the phone, a week goes by, and she calls me on my birthday to see what my plans are for the night. We get to talking, and she asks me if I talk to Shada. I tell her no, I'm done with this man. She proceeded to tell me, oh, well, he moved in with me. I had to stop for several seconds because, bitch, I am confusion. Did she tell me she let my ex move in with her? I didn't know what to do, so I hung up. The camera was so confused, I had to readjust it. Because, bitch, you not about to have me looking stupid on this phone. This girl knew everything me and this man had went through. I just couldn't believe she would really do me bad like this. So I call my grandpa and tell him everything, and he tells me to let it go. But if I would have called my grandpa on some shit like this. But mind you, I had paid for this girl's trip in February. I'm not understanding her purpose in telling me, and I don't know if I can get a refund back for the trip because we were leaving the country and I already bought a plane ticket. And I paid for my Airbnb and amenities. Honestly, I was and still am looking forward to that trip. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So mind you, she called me on my birthday and told me Shada now lives with her. Well, honestly, in that moment, I said I can't do anything about that. She will learn her lesson. I go about my birthday plans and play it off. So now Christmas has passed and New Year's is the next day. So I have a wedding I'm going to, and I have to go back to my hometown. On my drive down there, homegirl calls me and tells me the two people she added to the itinerary are Shada and his cousin. At this point, I want to fight you, sis, because she keeps trying me. Why on God's green earth would this woman invite this man and his cousin on a girls trip? Sis, I'm steaming. Like, bitch, you keep playing with me. Yeah, she definitely was playing on your top. Like, what? Anyway, let me get back to the story. I tell her, okay, what was the purpose of inviting two bums on an expensive girls trip? She tells me we can make it a sneaky link trip. Bitch, what? Mind you, I'm just now getting my emotions back together after Shada, so I'm single and enjoying life. Why would I want to disrupt my peace by being stuck on the trip with this man for 5 days plus 4 days of traveling, so 9 days total? No, ma'am. She said, dang, where was y'all going? So she said Shada don't want no beef, and since she assumed I moved on, she didn't see a problem with him coming. At this point, everything is coming together for me because Shada's birthday is in February and homegirl came up with the dates we were supposed to go. We started planning this trip back in September. She said, refer to I Can't Leave Him Alone in part 2. Oh. Anyway, moving on because it's almost over. So I hang up with her and start trying to figure out if I could get my money back. So fast forward 2 weeks and we are now in January of 2023. Homegirl calls me to ask me if I can help her move because she put Shada in jail. So now I'm intrigued because why? She tells me he kept taking her paychecks and putting his hands on her. I just listen because I know she doesn't think I feel sorry for her, but in reality I know what this man is capable of, so I don't want to help her get out of a bad situation. Oh, I do want to help her get out of a bad situation. I call my son's father and tell him everything, and he tells me not to go because it sounds like a setup. I'm like, if he's in jail, I'm just helping her move. Well, my son's father did some research and finds out that one, Shada is on the run for some RICO case. He is not in jail in the state homegirl lives in, and these two are in a relationship without the benefits, aka he makes subliminal posts about her but won't actually post a picture of her. Crazy. Anyway, that's the end. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the girls trip because I can't get my money back, but the moral of the story is everybody can't be for you. P.S. I hope I made sense because I did skip around a lot. Thank you for reading. These niggas is for everybody and these bitches is fake as fuck. Okay, so I do just want to say she sent this story to Simone, so she just copy and pasted. So, because she was saying Simone, and I'm not like offended or no shit like that. I'm just saying. So, when I started Confessions with Lo, this was well after February, so I don't want y'all to think like, dang, like you just not reading somebody's shit from February. Like, she sent this to Simone and then sent it to me, and I got it in May. So, yeah. Oh, she also sent pictures of her son, and I guess more pictures of, girl, you was cute. She sent pictures of, it's a whole bunch of pictures actually, y'all. And of course I'm not putting these on the screen, but she was just sending pictures of her, and I guess this is Shada. Oh, so it was her son, Shada, his baby mama, and then them arguing. So yeah, sis, that was a lot. One, I just want to say that I know it's easier said than done, but like when you're in a toxic situation, until you reach your breaking point, because like you can see the signs, the red flags are there, like you know you're supposed to leave, but until you physically hit your breaking point, nothing that nobody can say or do can get you out of this situation. Like only you can help yourself, and I'm speaking from experience. Like, so I can tell you all day long, you should have never did this, you should have never did that, you should have did this different, blah blah blah, but like obviously like you had to come to your own breaking point. Like that goes with anybody. So not your fault there. I'm glad that you finally did wake up, even though it took you some time. I'm glad you finally did see, I don't need to be with this man, he don't need to be in my life, he's toxic, he's crazy, he's terrible, he's abusive, all of that. Secondly, I'm sorry that you did have to go through that abuse, all those forms of abuse. You were young. It don't even matter the age. Nobody should ever feel like they have rights to your body. They own you. You are their property. No shit like that. Y'all know I don't even get down like that. I don't like that. And it just goes to show, like, I keep getting like so many like stories about, not so many, but you know, like more than one. And that just goes to show like stuff like this like happens more than you think. Like, and it's really sad, it's really unfortunate, it breaks my heart. You should have never ever ever had to go through anything like that. But I do hope that at this point, like today, if you see this, that you are healing, you are finding peace with things. I hope that you are still able to be a good mom to your son. Always put him first. Like when you have kids, you're not living for yourself no more. Like everything that you do, your kids should be at the forefront of your decision making. Like, I don't need to be doing this because I got a son, you know what I'm saying? So that was just a lot. So much that I don't even want to open up nothing else. Thank you for sharing that with me. I know you shared it with Simone. I feel like I have seen that video. That's why, like, when you were saying certain stuff, I'm like, I've heard this before. So thank you for sharing that with us. I know a lot of the same people are subscribed, but y'all can still comment your thoughts and opinions on this. Please keep it respectful, as I always ask y'all to do. But yeah, y'all, so that's gonna be the end of this episode. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed, turn on your post bell notifications, and if you ever want to share anything with me and the fam, the email that you can send it to, you can find it in the description box. And I'm gonna see y'all next week for 2 brand new videos.